Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Null Zone. This is Craic in time. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Another week and lots more madness going on. I hope you're all doing well. Just waiting on the panelists. I've sent out emails. I am a little bit late tonight. Anyway, as I was saying, just everything mad this week. We've got YW2324 in the chat. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see now, because I was on Facebook there and I didn't see any messages. So hopefully you're good for tonight. Sorry, just all over the place. Loads of stuff has happened in Dublin over these last couple of nights. I've been editing videos and doing stuff for people. I'm in the process of editing right now, so I'm all over the place. So yeah, hopefully now that video worked out. Anyway, we got two of our panelists on. I'm just going to check Facebook just to see. I didn't see a message from PD, but we'll just see there now if he's coming on. I'll just check Facebook real quick, and then we'll bring everybody on. Sorry about Ted. Ted has just been he's just been all over the place the last couple of days. There's been fireworks and all going off, so he's on edge. So I just wait for him to, because I'm sick of telling him to stop barking. It doesn't work because he's upset about whatever's going on out there. It's just knocked him off. Normally we don't get Ted like this until Halloween, because the fireworks he gets like most dogs. He just be hiding and cowering all over the place. We can't even bring him out half of the time. During Halloween, it's fucking crazy, but yeah, he's just going a bit mad. Sorry, I'm just a bit tired. I might sound a bit down. I'm not. I'm just a bit tired. I just haven't been sleeping these last couple of days because I've been very busy. But I will be, obviously, because I know people will say take a break. I will. The weekend I will be. My last stream is Friday, and then I'm gonna relax Saturday and Sunday and chill out because I need it. And then next week, then I'm off to a couple of protests. So I'm busy. Anyway, let's bring on our panelists. Hopefully PD joins us. I have a message there to say email is sent. He hasn't sent me a message to say, I don't know. I just want to check that last message just in case he actually did. Hold on. It was sent a few days back. See, I don't really check. No, he hasn't sent me. So we'll see if he gets here. He gets here. If he's not here, then he's obviously working and busy, because you know what he's like. He's out there. He does theatre work and all of that, so he'll be busy. But let's bring on our panelists without further ado. So I can see him in his Middlesbrough top. I don't know if it's the new jersey, but we'll soon find out. But it's the one and only Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I can confirm it is the new one. I had the sky blue away one last week, and then thought I'd wear the home one this week. So
fantastic. Well, I got the 3 jerseys last year, and I don't know if I can afford them this year. So I have been told that, if I do get one, I could choose one. But the away one is lovely, and the third kit is lovely as well. But so is the home kit. So I'm actually right now deciding which kit I want, because most people just go to the default and get the home kit. But if I like the two kits, I will look at them. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, enough of the football, because people have been sick of football, because we had the Euros and pre-season is back, so it's been non-stop. So let's bring on our next guest, our next panelist, and it's the one and only Queen Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, don't talk about football with English people right now, no. It's a bit of a sore subject.
Yeah. Well, do you know what I'll say? Right. I know I've been on these streams, and anytime there's been an England match and stuff, and I've been given a bit of banter towards Cinnamon, especially. But you know what? It was a good final. Yeah. The bottom line is he's got beaten by the better team, and he's have a shite manager. Well, he's had a shite manager.
He's gone now, yeah.
Now you are probably going to get a good manager and win everything for the next few years, because you'll have a manager that'll utilise those players properly. But that's the end of the football. Anyway, commiserations to all you England fans. But as usual, it didn't come home. So anyway, had to get that dig in as an
It's a long
Irishman.
way around.
Anyway, yesterday, actually, very interestingly, we had a Christian talk about the Time Bandits trailer. So I just wanted to give that a bit of a shout out. If anybody is interested in the Time Bandits and you want to hear his opinion about the new trailer, you can go and check it out. But let's see what Queen Charlotte would like to talk about this week.
Yeah, the sort of thing that I've been noticing, like we talked about sort of censorship last week, is the sort of the nostalgia and the love for the mid-2000s TV shows. It feels like with streaming especially, a lot of that sort of era of TV and a lot of sort of things that got seasons and seasons worth of episodes are suddenly having a big comeback. And I just find it funny that Hollywood has to go to that period and these streamers have to go to that period to sort of get these shows to keep people watching. Because I can't remember when it was released, the lists of like the most watched shows on like Disney Plus and some of the other big streamers. And none of it was current stuff. It was all Friends, Grey's Anatomy, sort of. I noticed of like the BBC was what made me think about it. A lot of American actually 2000 era shows they're now showing. They've just got a load of American stuff like Gossip Girl and Suits and stuff like that, which isn't like really old, but it's not been relevant for a while. You could argue that the original sort of incarnation of these shows. And I just find it funny that the streamers are having to almost prop up from the old to keep interest. And I just think that's a sign of just
very
how
fascinating
bad.
that you say that, because we obviously we used Disney Plus to watch Doctor Who, but we used her mum and dad's account, obviously using what you have to use to be able to watch it. And the interesting thing on the homepage, you're absolutely right, they were pushing all of the old stuff, none of the new stuff that was coming out. Like, you'd have your trailer coming soon, but then underneath it's all the old stuff, as you said. That doesn't look. They know, Charlotte, that what they've been putting out is bullshit. What baffles me is, and baffles us all, is why won't you course correct now? You know, you can make a ton of money. People are actually screaming out for good TV right now.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're going back, because I found it feeling on the iPlayer, they've really been pushing some of these shows they've just acquired recently. And it's like I said, and they're not like really complex shows, but they're very binge-worthy, like binge sort of shows, and shows that you can sort of, if you're feeling a bit down, just watch an episode. Like, that's why Friends did so well. There was obviously other aspects to it, but it was comfort. It was sort of, you got to know these characters. And I think for me, it shows another thing of back in that era, like I said, the sort of 2000s era, you had so many episodes normally in a season. So you really got to almost get to know the Friends cast, like all those characters, how they interacted, their relationships, how their relationships changed and sort of went up and down. And you really, and I think that's also showing the fact that now at most you get about 8 episodes per season, especially in America.
Yeah. Jesus,
and
yeah.
I think they're seeing the value actually now of these older shows because they've got so many episodes. And because of that, you can get really invested. in the storylines, especially if it's an ongoing sort of drama / sort of. I don't know what you'd call something that's ongoing, but it's not a drama. Those sort of shows.
Serial. Not serial.
Serial, like these sort of serialized formats.
That's
and
it, serial. Or telenovela.
They're seeing.
You see, even then I found that type. Even then, though, back in the early 2000s, I actually found those type of shows shit. I didn't like that era of TV at all. I didn't like all of these fucking teeny boppy fucking like the one that I did actually watch and got into big time was the Vampire Diaries, believe it or not. Right? I actually did really like that. But big even dramas, though I used to flag it off because I used to say all of these people have perfect faces and no flaws and they're just beautiful looking people. But they could actually act. And the acting was very good in that show. So that was the only type of those shows that I watched around that era, that period. I don't know why they'd acquire those type of shows. I kind of get it, as you said, comfort and all of that. But I think we need more than that right now.
No, we do. But I just think, like you said, it's more. I think it's an interesting indicator right now as to where the industry is and where taste, sort of what audience want. And I think what the ultimate sort of thing needs to be balanced. I think we need some more of those type of shows back. And then you need your highbrow shows. You need your sort of more complex shows to sort of be the counter.
Amen to that.
But for me, it's showing a couple of things. Like I said, I think we need to really increase episode counts. I've thought this for a while. I've hated this method now of 8 episodes because everybody's copying it as well. It's not just the streaming shows.
Oh yeah,
stuff even.
Sex Education was doing 8 episodes. The Witch is doing 8 episodes. Doctor Who's now doing 8 episodes. This is about why 8, 1 10. At least round it off at least.
But for me, it's like it's really showing like the constraint that puts the show under whatever genre is. It seems to, especially then if you've got a gap in between your seasons, like also it's becoming more normal now. You could maybe get away with it when it was yearly 8 episodes, but when you've got a 2-year gap, it's like, no, that's hardly anything to sort of feed your fan base for.
And if they're only like an hour long as well, it kind of, I say it's weird because it sort of forces them to be clever because they've got less time, but it's like that's more pressure to put themselves under. Whereas before you could at least take your time, whether it was a 13 episodes season. Also, in America, it was tend to be a bit longer because you'd have shows over there like House that would have like 21, 22 episodes.
Oh yeah, they got a bit on the opposite end, ridiculous.
Yeah. It lasts such a long time, and sometimes a sort of whole season could last in from like 1 year and it'd cross over into the next. So it'd actually air over the course of like, well, not a year, but in between 1 year and the next one. Whereas here, I think it's a bit more different here. We do tend to have maybe a bit more like 13, a bit less. But
13, 14 it used to be.
Yeah, that was the average kind of thing. But even, and it's like they say, they kind of justify it by saying, oh, well, the episode length's going up, but then...
But they're not.
Yeah. Or they did for a while and then they slip back again. We're still getting 45 minutes. 8 episodes where I used to get 45 minutes, 30. I don't get the excuse. I don't know why. I get
laziness.
They'll say, oh, less is more. Less is sometimes more, or the quality and stuff. But like, I don't get it because if anything, the technology is better now. Bigger budgets are more available now. I mean, you see the sort of shows that the Disney shows are getting ridiculous budgets. Over too much budgets, really. They're getting too much. People say that it's too much money, but it's getting more money, more resources available. But yes, we're still getting less. And this does tie into my point later, but I'll let you go on.
Yeah, but it's just, I think, and also I think whatever you could say of that era of shows, at least you actually had in different bits, whether that was the writers or the actors, like you pointed out, and all. There was always some sort of quality there, whatever art it was in, whether, like I said, it could be in the writing, it could be in the sort of the production of it, it could be in the actual actors on the show. It might not be brilliant lines, but they're good actors and they can actually do good with that kind of material. That they've sort of got enough skill to elevate it almost. And for me, it's just sort of feels like I feel like we've been in this for a while, but it's really starting to feel like to me we're in this sort of in between phase of before it was let's chuck every sort of person who isn't the traditional sort of person on telly on screen. Let's hire a load of people in who aren't qualified, but we've not had these type of people in the industry before. And then they had a lot of money, and then they put all this stuff out, and it alienated a lot of the fan bases.
But here's the thing, Charlotte. Surely, if they're highlighting and they're promoting the old stuff, it shows then that what they have done the last few years has utterly failed.
Yeah,
so you would say that logic, wouldn't you, Charlotte? That
yeah, I'm saying that's the weird in between now. So they had that phase of not knowing almost and being stupid, and then they got all the failures. And now they're sort of in this in between where they're clearly, like you said, they're putting out all the old shows again. They're banking on the old shows, especially, like I said, these streaming, to keep their subscribers interested. But it's taking too long to get a new batch of stuff that's different and better back. So it's like the industry is taking too long to correct itself.
Yeah.
And it's having to rely on what it's done before.
It's like an oil tanker, Charlotte. It takes so long to turn it around. It's not a speedboat. You can just turn on a circle, you know. It takes ages to turn around. Yeah, exactly.
You're getting more and more. I'm seeing that as well. More and more big companies now are actually saying, no, we're going to go back to quality. Yeah. We're going to go back to what works. And if that means it doesn't have a cast list that's got every single box ticked.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Nobody's complaining about that either. But if you're going to give people an opportunity like that, well, then make sure that they're the best in class. Like you know what I mean? Like nobody complained about Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, others like that.
Oh yeah, no, we've always said this.
I know his acting is a bit dodgy, but still, he's got enough fucking talent to pull it fucking off. Don Cheadle, what's the other fella fucking that started it all off? He was in the Heat of the Night movie. Forget his name. Sidney Poitier, whatever his name is. Right? Like, they were best in class.
Yep.
Right? And there was no complaining from an audience.
Yeah, the problem was we didn't complain because they were, like I said, they were the best of the crop, and they came and they sort of got where they were in the industry because of their skill. The problem is now you've had no quality control, as I sort of the term I use of instead of going, no, you're a really good actor, we're going to elevate you. And you might, like I said, we didn't care about these non-white or whatever term you want to use, people being put in the industry because they were good and they could do their work and they didn't moan. They sort of got on with it. They didn't feel entitled to stuff. Like that generation you talked about, none of them said, oh, I deserve this because of I'm black or I'm this, I'm that, whatever. They were like, no, I'm here because I'm a good actor, I'm a good writer, I'm a good producer. So because I had no quality control, that's what it feels like now. The statements that are coming out of I think Microsoft has recently just said something.
Yep, they've just got rid of DI.
It's like they're realizing we have to go back to if you're good at your job, we hire you. It doesn't matter what your skin color is, or what your gender is, or what your sexuality is. If you're good, you're good.
Stop saying like. I'm paraphrasing, but it was like the whole. They mentioned George Floyd, which is one incident, but it's like they've almost kind of saying it like, oh, because it was so detached from that now. It's been a while. A bit of waffle, but basically it's kind of clocked on to like, oh well, it was never a permanent thing. It was never going to last forever. It was, again, just waffle really if you read it, but it was.
Yeah, you know why it's happening, don't you?
Flicking back to how it used to be before, and it's a lot of the stuff you talk about there. It's hardly like common sense, It's quite obvious stuff. It's nothing hardly controversial. Oh yeah, hiring people based on talent. Yeah, who would have thought? Yeah, if you go in any other line of work or any other anything like that, you expect, well, are you equipped? It's not just about when you're a kid and you get bogged down about GCSEs and just numbers. As you get older, it's more about experience and what you've done rather than what something on a piece of paper says whatever. But it's just bare bones stuff. It's common sense. It's he's got the right experience, or he's good in this kind of field. This is what you can do. This is what you can. We've got him because he's perfect for this role because he's done so many things like this before. Or you come back with that person because he's got so much experience in this care sector. Whatever it is, whatever line of work it is, it's just common sense, and it's been bogged down to make decisions, to not hire people, to not do things because we're scared of a reaction.
Hide their own kind.
Yeah.
Again, in our lives of work, we can't go after these people because we'll get accused of being racist.
Yeah.
We can't do it because it doesn't look good, or the optics of it. I mean, I can't stand that word optics because it's framing things that have to be seen in a certain way. But it's like we've really de-evolved in a lot of ways. We've gone backwards.
Yeah. But it's telling, like I said, and that's sort of what I'll finish with. It's really telling. I'm seeing more and more signs that the industry has fully realised the problem, and they're sort of now slowly sort of trying to work out how do we fix it, how do we go back. But I think and this is the last thing I will say, and I think it's an interesting talking point at some point we can have. Okay, the industry's realised their mistakes. They've realised what they were doing was like anti sort of what they wanted, because they've now caused opposition. They've caused sort of apathy in some cases. They've caused sort of negative feelings when there wasn't back before they started all this aggressive pushing of either, we have to have these groups on screen, or we have to have this person because they're not being represented enough, all of that rhetoric. And now they're trying to step it back. But the question is, has there been too much damage? Even if Hollywood does start to produce stuff which can have, we've said this before, a whole range of people in it, but they're clearly there because of their merit. They're clearly there because they're good. They've auditioned and they were the best in that audition that day. But are people just going to go, no, you've caused too much opposition?
I think people will be skeptical for a while. Naturally.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I think there'll be a mistrust for a few years, but you see with the Spider-Man movie, the last one. I mean, it went down with the audiences because it was fan service, but it was done respectfully, and people actually did really enjoy that movie. Hollywood has shown that if they put out a good quality movie, like Tom Cruise, he doesn't put out a bad movie. Well, but recently he hasn't been putting out bad movies. He rarely
does.
He rarely puts out a bad movie. There's one or two of these movies I don't like, but the rest I actually love. But they can do it. And audiences proved it because they went and watched it, especially with Maverick. Do you know what I mean? So Cinnamon is right. There'll be a bit of suspicion at the start and a bit of, they'll be saying, will it last? See, that'll be the thing. People will be suspicious and think, is this bait and switch? Will we get this for a few? And then they're going to switch back again. And that's what the industry will have to prove. They'll basically have to show that they're not going to go back again. I don't know if you can convince everybody, but I reckon if you start putting out quality content, you will. But go ahead, Cinnamon. You are going to say something there.
I finished anyway, so next Cinnamon or PD.
Just that really, again, it makes sense because when you've had your fingers naturally burnt so many times, you sort of like shut yourself off, and then I feel like some people have kind of fell into a trap, not maybe deliberately, accidentally, just maybe subconsciously. You've been burnt so many times, you can close yourself off, or you don't want to look forward to anything, or you don't want to be optimistic or anything because you don't want to be let down. And then you get too maybe not too negative, but I think you get what I'm trying. You close yourself off from everything, and I think it gets to the point where
I understand that.
Then it doesn't help because I think sometimes some people will get naturally negative about something they haven't even seen yet before they've even got a drop of it. Like I was speaking last week, wasn't I, about the new 28 Years Later that's going to come out next year. Now, it's been a long time since the last film, 17 years.
Danny Boyle's
the world has
man.
changed. Yeah, the world's changed a lot. I mean, obviously Danny Boyle's back on it again, but it's, the world's changed a lot. There's a whole lot of time that's been in between the second and the third film and everything. So then you look at that and think, well, I like the first two, but to be fair, in a way they're kind of irrelevant because there's no, it's not even like, it was the last film was 2 years ago. Like it's been a long time. There's no connective tissue really anymore. But it's just, what I was going to talk about was just sort of how we've gone back, and I mentioned a bit earlier, but it's like a bit to do with the sort of lower episode count. I mean, again, why? I mean, again, less is more, they say, quality over quantity. Then, yeah, that's true, depending on what the situation is. But how you can go from, say, one TV show, 13 episodes, then down to 10, and then they sort of try and soften the blow and say, it's 10. Yeah, but each episode's no longer 45. It's 50 minutes, extra 5 minutes for each episode. So if you were then to tally each 5 minutes from every episode, put them together, you'd have 50 minutes. So that'd be like almost a new episode or whatever. And then we had that for a while. And then...
That was Moffat, yeah.
And then we had 6. And then, 9 if you total any specials. But, and then you see what everyone's doing now. Again, everyone's copying the 8 episodes number. I mean, why not 10? I mean, didn't Squid Game have 9? I mean, I don't know. It's
hard season 3 and 10.
It seems to be a streaming service kind of thing. That's naturally where a lot of these shows are being consumed now. But it just seems to be again going backwards. Obviously, things or decisions that we obviously should be making because they're just naturally common sense. We don't seem to be making. Again, hire that director because he's done so many action movies and this is an action movie, so maybe he might be good for it. I don't know. Instead of just picking a random, let's say, a woman who's only done rom-coms or something, maybe it's not best to pick her because maybe she's not that experienced in this particular genre. But we've got to give it to her because, the last movie we did had a man. The last movie before that had a man. And then the spin-off series we had was a man. And that might not look good if we just hire lots and lots of men. And just quality, the money you get for what you pay. Again with the games, and all these kind of pay-to-win services. It's no longer just about how it was before, where you pay your money for the game and that was it. You could get a really, really full experience. There's always been DLCs to a point. That's been around for a long time. I mean, I remember any sort of Elder Scrolls players out there. The amount of storm and the backlash that they got for releasing that Horse's Armor DLC and paid money for that. That kicked up a storm, and it's crazy how that got the reaction then. But then you look at
and
what
now it's
now.
like nothing.
Just get the Knights and 9
DLC
DLC for cheap, and it'll automatically install. There you go.
It's now you pay $10.99, $40.99 for one skin in Fortnite, and it's like, that's normal now. It's I suppose it takes things a while for people to get used to, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's good, though, does it? And it's
no.
Again, I mean, even as well, sort of Dead Rising as well. They're releasing the digital edition first, and then the physical release in November. So the digital edition's coming out in September, and then the physical DVD release 2 months later. And it's like, why? What's the reason for that?
Why not time them closer?
Once upon a time, if you pre-ordered something, you get it both on the same day, digitally or physically. And it's just these little things that just niggle me, and it's like, why?
Yeah,
why
it's collector's box now.
Because I'm a bit like Noel. I'm a believer of physical media. I do get things digitally. I might buy the FIFA games or whatever they're calling it now, or digitally. So, but I do dabble in both. But I prefer to keep it physically because then I know for a fact, I see all these steel books here. That's there. No one's going to take them because they're there. It's not on some computer where Sony, I think, have removed things or people's backlogs of.
Oh, was it Ubisoft? I can't remember now. It was Sony or Ubisoft.
One of them as well. Just when you worry about these companies taking movies, because if you buy a movie off your PlayStation or something, or they take that away when it, whatever, or
licensing issues, yeah.
Yeah, at least then you can say, well, you've got the original copy in your shelf. It's always there. Or, these books here. Sorry, yeah. They're always there. So I've always been a big believer of physical media. But it's, again, it just seems that we're just going backwards. Oh, yeah, let's just release 2 different editions, 2 complete different times. Like, why weren't you ready for that? Like, you've had months to announce it. It's not like you've only just started working on it yesterday. This has been something you've been working on for a while. Why does it have to wait too? Like, what's your excuse? And it's the same thing with the shooty thing. I would rather you delay the season if it meant him having them there for the full thing.
Yeah.
Just simple common sense things. I can't even say it because it's so obvious and it's so simple, but yet it doesn't happen. You look at, and it's like all these different IPs, all these different franchises, whether it's Star Wars, Doctor Who, anything that you like. You've got, and again, I remember the actor that came on and did that interview, and Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to be, you don't have to be an expert on the knowledge of the law of anything. But if you're a writer or a showrunner, why can't you just tell a good story? Because we really don't.
In that case, they basically come out. I don't know if it was Leslie or somebody else, and has admitted it was written to be anti-fan. That show, they've admitted to that.
Yeah.
now.
So what's the point? Yeah. Totally insane.
It's like it was designed to annoy people. That show. That was the whole point of it.
That just proves my point.
And this is why they wonder, though, that the industry is in a state when you have a showrunner coming out and making a blatant statement like that, just like Alex Kurtzman and just like RTD. And RTD and Kurtzman are actually coming together for this Comic-Con, and it's going to be an absolute. I'm going to cover it because before Jodie Whittaker came along, we covered Comic-Con, if you remember, every year. It was something we looked forward to. We covered all the different Comic-Cons. But after the first Jodie Whittaker one, there was never any more after that. So I'm going to do this one because it'll be interesting to see what horse shit comes out of this man's mouth in relation to this show. Because there's not, but this worries me that this is getting dragged through the mud for more than 3 seasons now. It's going to be commissioned because you don't go to Comic-Con if they don't think it's doing all right. So it must be internationally, as they said, it must be doing all right, and they're happy with it doing well internationally. For me,
no, or it could just be all a front. We have said
or
this
it could
before.
be, yeah.
It could be them saying, if you go there looking positive, smiling your heads off, saying everything's good, it's at least it's the image of success. I bitterly think that's honestly what's happening here with Comic-Con.
Well, they've been doing it with Star Trek for a few years, so I agree with you on that one. But it's pathetic. It's pathetic. But you know what? It'll be interesting because, as Christian said yesterday, actually, he made a very valid point. Anybody that's gone, see what the Doctor Who merch is like. See how much merch they actually have. And if there's hardly any merch there, it doesn't matter if they're holding Comic-Con, then it's not doing well.
Because it's a tiny booth. If it's
tiny, if it's tiny, that's a telling sign. But go on, Cinnamon. Again, I keep butting in when you're about to make a point that I don't mean to. It's just you say something and then I have to add to it. Go on.
I think I was on about just different. I mean, like that interview. I mean, obviously, I know there's a bit more context. I'll probably have to, there'll be more context to probably what she said. But it's attitudes like that. Why anti-fan? Why do you? Okay, I'll refrain from keeping any nasty comments. But why does this woman, this box head looking faced woman, come into sort of something like this your words, not mine. But why does she come into a project like this? This is a really good opportunity for her on a personal level. This is Star Wars. Even if you're not Star Wars, this is a big show. You could do anything with it within reason. You could tell your own original story. It's not just Star Wars. It's any other show out there. Star Trek. I mean, again, I'm planning. PD knows this. So I'm going to eventually, at some point, plan on watching it when I get the time. Once I finish with the shows I am watching. But I would think I'd watch some of it first, get a general sort of basic level knowledge of what the characters are, what the storyline was, and what these particular group of characters are, and then right for it again. Star Wars. She could do this. She could come on board. She could have told something maybe quite nice, really impactful. But no, it seems she's gone in there, maybe put herself into it. A weird agenda of being anti-fan because, let's write a Star Wars show not for Star Wars fans because that makes logical sense. It's just a weird decision, and it's any other walk of life. Football, for example. Imagine if sort of the owner of a team basically told the fans to get lost. Yeah, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
All right, fine. We won't buy your season tickets. Watch you struggle then. They wouldn't dare. Because it'd have genuine financial, repercussions for them. Obviously, with it being a TV show, they get funded elsewhere. But it's attitudes like that. What makes you think you have the right to tell me or somebody else or anyone just go away because you don't like what they say? People in all sorts of fandom can't stand what they say. I can tell them to go away, though. And the other people do tell them to go away.
You just say that's your opinion.
Generally aren't there for the sake of being on that show. They'll be there for other reasons, just to stare at, really, and to cause bother. It's just I wake up every day and I just see nonsensical, dumb decisions. Again, why anti-fan? I didn't know that before now, but I just think why? Why would you say something like that? Why would you have that? Again,
that attitude. I don't know exactly said that word.
Because I'll tell you why. It's quite simple. Because the Muppets and the morons think that this is the way. Because bad publicity to these Muppets, morons, right? No matter how controversial they get, to them is publicity because they know that the little shills that support them will be online with their bot accounts and all of this and talking about the show and all of this. Then you have the media defending it. They don't give a shit. Look, she's made it clear. She's you know what? At least she's had the balls. She looks like a man. If you're looking at this whole transgender thing, she qualifies because she has a man face anyway, right? So listen. But the thing
you know what that is, mate. You know why she looks like
have the balls to come out and say it. This was an anti-fan show, right? So she's come out and said it. And she should be applauded for it because she's exposed. We knew already. It's just nobody really say it out loud. She has for the first time. It's like Kurtzman with Star Trek when he said it's being used as a platform. It's not about the show. It's about what we can do with it and use it to push our message, right? So they've made it clear. We don't give a shit. But you see, the Acolyte failed anyway. It's not even going to get a second season as far as I'm aware now. It's not even going to get a second season now. So she did her job. She'll be given another project, right? It's not as if she failed. She failed upwards. She'll get another fucking job. And remember, this is Harvey Weinstein's former PA. So everybody has to ask themselves, how was that woman in the industry? She has to have dirt on people, and that's why she's being elevated. And if that's the case, that makes her even more of a scumbag, that she's willing to keep information or blackmail people to get where she's gotten, rather than give the information to the people that could help fucking victims. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway.
Yeah, no. Apparently, she never used to be like this. She used to laugh at DEI and wokeness and all that, and all of a sudden she said, "Oh, I am a lesbian. Oh, look at my
because
wife.
She's open to hide and she's overcompensating, like the whole industry. Hollywood is a cesspit. So what are they doing? They're all gone woke because nobody wants to upset the apple cart and be exposed.
Yep, that's it.
And anybody falls out of line, we've seen it. Anybody falls out of line or starts to speak up, what happens? The next day, some allegation comes out about them or they're fucking cancelled.
Exactly, yeah. It's all about control, Noel. It's all about control. It's all it's about, power and control.
And that's what I mean. RTD coming out with Doctor Who's doing well with the young people, but won't actually acknowledge that the ratings are shit. Just goes to show you the delusion with these people. They don't care. He's told you out straight he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit.
No.
But people will tune in next season and they'll watch and then expect them to do something different or to actually, give them what they want. And he won't.
Yeah, so true. Oh, I was just hoping the culture will be over soon.
I think it is, PD, honestly. Like I said, the big
after the
companies are
other
now
day.
coming out and
after
saying
the
no.
other day. Yeah.
Yeah, but to say a show is anti-fan, I mean, that's not the pissing me off, just like Cinnamon. To actually say a show is anti-fan, you have to be the biggest bollocks, the most evil, horriblest person in the world to come into a franchise that is sacred to fucking millions of people and to turn around and say, well, this is not for you. It's anti-fan now. Fuck you. No, I've had enough of it.
Yeah,
I like Star Wars. I don't. But Jesus Christ almighty, man.
No, it's Gary's. What is it? It's Gary's G.I. Joe analogy, isn't it? You see, your sister. I want to play with it. It's like no. And the second you get hold of your G.I. Joe, snap it in half and throw it on the floor and go, ha, and walk off. That's what it's all about.
I've got a theory anyway about Acolyte. I've got my own little theory about it.
What's your theory?
She could have came in. She could have really built something there for it. She had a big platform. This is Star Wars we're talking about. She could have gone down. If she delivered something great, she'd be remembered fondly. All you got to do is make something good that people will enjoy. And then, I mean, you'll be remembered. Yeah. I mean, she's remembered anyway for all the wrong reasons. Why would you want on yourself? I mean, regardless of all the money, and the sort of filling up. Why would you sit there at night knowing I got that because of, I got some sort of backhanded deal, or I was sort of snuck in, or it's okay, I'm part of the message, I'm in the it crowd, or that would get me in, not because I've actually earned that, or no, look what I've done, look at this work that I produced, the fans love it, or look, everyone's showing me love and kind and give me support. No, okay, apart from a few shills, but again, Star Wars Theory was a great channel, but he's one of the bigger. He's the biggest Star Wars channel. Again, you could have channels like that with all the thousands of probably millions of views that he's getting, and he could be praising this. He could be like, "Oh, this is actually a really good show, guys. Make sure you check this out. If you've been disillusioned with any other show, check this one out."
Yeah.
No, she hasn't got any of that. She hasn't got any decent traction. Any sort of decent praise. Any all the attention on you is the negative. How would you want that on yourself?
But who have they blamed? Who has the media blamed Cinnamon?
The fans.
Usual, it's the fans' fault. The fans are racist. The fans are homophobic. Like, no, sorry, write a decent fucking show and don't say it's anti-fucking fan, and then you won't have a backlash.
Yeah, well, my little theory about Acolyte is...
That's another thing that I'm getting a bit sick and tired of. Well, all the fans are racist. And there's racists anywhere, in all walks of life. Not just Star Wars, not just Doctor Who. Same thing. People that there's tiny, and a tiny fraction of people. Again, and those are very few people, and those are in all walks of life. It's not just a fandom thing. It's not just a Doctor Who thing. It's not just a Star Wars thing. So it's when, again, any slight bit of pushback, you're just this, just that, it's really starting to get on my nerves now because they're not actually addressing it. They're not actually addressing the criticism. They're just saying, well, you didn't like it, this, so you didn't like it because you must be this, that's why. No, we didn't like it because it's just shit.
Exactly.
But have you noticed that line of attacking isn't having the weight it used to?
No.
They used to be able to have that narrative back at the start of all this,
Yeah.
And it would actually be believed to some degree. It would actually shut fans up to a degree.
Yeah.
Now it just looks tired. And even when you've got a show like The Acolyte, even people who do usually praise Star Wars are saying, no, this is a bad show. Like,
Listen,
this is
Grace
a
Randolph.
fundamentally bad show.
Oh yeah, Grace Randolph.
Grace Randolph, right? I did a video on her on this channel, as you know, because she came out
Oh,
with
sorry.
the Super Mario movie, brothers being terrorists and toxic and all of this other shit. And Barbie was a great movie and all of this other bollocks, right? She's even come out and she's the dumbest reviewer on the planet. And I'm not messing. Grace Randolph, go and watch her. She even looks like a ditzy head, and she has a boyfriend or something. I don't know how he's able to have an intelligent conversation with
a penis.
but maybe he's just a stupid and they're two stupid works. But even she's come out and says this isn't really good, is it? Now for her to come out and even say that just goes to show you how bad this shit show is. If she's actually saying,
the difference is before in lockstep they would all praise these things as well as saying if you don't like it, you're this, shit that, you're ism, da. But now because it's got to such a level with some of these shows that even they know to have any sort of credibility left as a critic, they can't lavish praise on these things because they're so bad. And that's what The Acolyte comes across to me from what I've seen. But my little theory with The Acolyte is I think, I know it's been talked about enough times, but I think actually Kathleen Kennedy is going. I think she's on the way out because she's decided she wants to come out, not because she's been pushed, because she's finally sort of gone, right, I'm fed up now. I don't want to play the game anymore. I can retire, get lots of money, get the odd producer credit, and I'll be happy. So this is probably one of the last big TV productions she's got any sort of saying that she can sort of have any management of. So I think this is her final message to what she thinks of the Star Wars fan base. She's clearly had an issue for years with the fan base, more precisely the men in the fan base, because that woman is the definition of what you get when you reverse sexism, which is she bangs on about women, but if you see how she treats blokes, how she talks about the male fans, she despises them.
But that's the thing, Charlotte.
hang on, surely if you were going to go out like that, Charlotte, I'm not dismissing your theory. It's actually a good theory, right? But surely, right, the biggest fuck you to the fans would be to actually create something that the fans have always wanted as a big final. Well, I could do it all along, but I chose not to. Fuck yous.
Exactly.
No.
You thought I was this, did you? Oh, how about this then? I'll give you what you want, kind of that.
But the thing is,
they'll go out with a little bit of a whimper and a bit of a moan.
I don't know, I agree. But if you're that petty, if you're that vindictive, if you've got that much of a chip on your shoulder, like Kathleen Kennedy comes across to me as anyway, and I think that all comes from the fact that she knows she's only got her position because of two blokes. I'm sorry, she's only where she is because she had a producer credit on Steven Spielberg's movies.
She's married to Frank Marshall, there you go, as well.
No, but she was. But this is the thing. Now I have to say here, she was more than just that. She actually played a vital part in all. This is why people are shocked about Kathleen Kennedy. She actually was a good producer back in the day. She actually did have input in all of those.
Yes, but it's because of those two blokes, though. They found her. They got her name on those movies, and ever since she's hated that. She's absolutely hated that.
I know, but she loved being the understudy. That's what I don't get. She loved that. I wonder what made her bitter. It must have been just out the age as she got older, because she always seemed to have a good relationship with these lads.
Sarcastic terrorism? I don't know.
At this time, it's my thing. Again, imagine sitting there at night. Imagine knowing you're like a diversity hire. Oh, no, they didn't actually want me because... I say this because I've experienced it to a point myself. Imagine being like sat there knowing, oh, you've been picked because, oh, well, you'll suit them because you look like that. And if you look like that, then that'll look good for us if we go out of our way to pick people like you, because you basically say.
But you can.
Why would you
But
want to be a boss? They don't want
No.
you because they value you. They want you because you look good for them. That's not good.
But it's
Why would you want-
it's what ultimately matters to you. Because I remember she did an interview, Kathleen Kennedy, where she was like, "Oh, I was in the audience watching. I can't remember what she was watching, a recording of something." And the normal person would just sit there and watch the recording, wouldn't they? They'd enjoy the fact they're part of the audience.
It's trained in the industry.
What did she do when she's talked about this? She looked at how many women, and these were her words, how many women were camera people.
Yeah.
And that's what her focus was on.
I do that though, Charlotte, because I'm trained in that part of the industry.
Oh, I know, it's your profession. It's not hers.
No.
But she was obsessed with the gender. You could see that she was sat there not enjoying a recording of a show she was part of the audience for. No, her brain was on, oh, there's hardly any women behind these cameras.
Yeah.
Why should that be your major thought sat in the audience?
Yeah, they might be elsewhere though. They might be all up in the gallery.
Yeah,
He doesn't know.
Yeah, you don't know how many women are in other bits of this production. And at the end of the day, maybe it's just a field that women just generally aren't interested in. I don't know.
I mean, at university, I've worked with some good females. I've worked with some bad females, and vice versa with men. It's just you got to take people.
A lot of articles written by women.
I know. It's good and bad and all.
But that's my point. It's the obsession with her. You can see she's absolutely obsessed, that woman.
OCD.
It's the same reason, you look at people who work in the North Sea on them big oil rigs, and they're like, oh, there's not many women. Yeah, because technically that isn't a job.
They'd be swept overboard.
Women that would, if you go back in the time and look at old construction photos of men swinging off a tall building, hanging off a piece of metal for a photos, and then how many women built the Empire State Building? Probably not many. It's just generally not a field that they would have been in at that time. Or even now, there's certain jobs that certain people do.
Yeah, and most of it was safety concerns.
There was a physical reason, wasn't there, Peter?
A lot of women who work in nurseries and in school settings typically have too many men there. There's lots of examples you could pick of situations like that, of all sorts of jobs. Typically, more people tend to do than others. It's just how life is.
Yeah. Just constraints of times, really.
Yeah, but she's her own version of vindictive, that one. So I can fully. That's why I think normal people would be like, if I'm going out, I'm going to go out with a really good show.
But I just think
she's like, no, I want to go out actually fully making the fans feel horrible because I don't like them and I never have.
Yeah, totally played her true colours in the end, didn't she?
Why isn't she like that? That's another thing. When you actually delve deep into it, how can she sit there?
Yeah, and the thing that annoys me about this whole thing is at the end of the day, it's show business, not show friends, not show activism. Show business. You've got to make money, not piss it down the drain.
Well, they're learning that now, Peter.
Yeah, the hard way.
It's just it annoys me is that there'll be thousands of people who would kill to be in that position.
I know.
I know people who are quite professional writers. And I just mean a bit of fan fiction. I mean, again, mentioned it, Star Wars series. He's doing his own stuff. He could just as easily, if he was given the opportunity, I reckon he could easily write a proper, serious, professional show. Obviously, that would never ever happen. But it's just like someone that could do it, and he would do it, and he would be interested, and he would do it to the best of his ability because he's a fan, and he would be very knowledgeable. You just have to know about all the law because you can do something entirely new, but it does help, and especially if you're a fan of it. Again, if you've read all the Witcher books, played the games, and watched the TV series, you can have a better idea than someone who's just come in because it's a show I've been recommended that I'd be good for, so I've just took it on. I never watched it.
I know the showrunner. Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna write Dead Space 4. Even though I've not played the first 3 games, but I'll give it a go. Kind of thing. It's
not the old paraphernalia.
He'd be good for it because he's a fan, and he wouldn't do anti-fan behaviour, and it's just
anti-fan.
It really just doesn't make sense. Even if you for all this nonsense, even if you believe in the stuff that they believe in, why would you sit there and want to ruin your show or want to ruin
Entire franchise,
sort
yeah.
of the relationship with fans and go out your way to damage it? I mean, I suppose they see it, I suppose in their little minds, they don't see it as damaging. But it's again, thousands of people would love to be in that position, and it's people like that take it for granted. You know, you see Jeremy Corbyn submissively, and this silly nonsense of having to sort of, you know, give loyalty to the king. You know, is it too big? Is it too much for you, Jeremy? You know, is there not other people who would be more willing to do something like that? I mean, that's the bit that really gets me, because it's like these people are put in these positions. Again, like, this is Star Wars. You could have. This Leslie woman could have. And I haven't even seen it. Oh, so I want to admit that. No, I haven't even seen the show, so I'm not saying it's terrible because I haven't seen it. But judging by a lot of reaction,
oh yeah,
it's quite overwhelming. You know, you get a good gauge of sense of something. You know, obviously make your own opinion, obviously. So, and I probably will do that if I ever dare to be bothered to watch it. Again, I'm in no rush. Certainly not. But it's just like she's been in this position. She's been given this opportunity, whatever means, however way, and she's really pissed it down the drain. She could have done something really special, something really nice. She could have been, again. Don't you want to be remembered?
Rogue One again,
nice?
yeah.
Don't
Kennedy,
don't you want to sit there? But yeah, but you want to be remembered for? Oh yeah, she was great. She was. Yeah, I remember that time that she was in charge of the show from between this period. Oh, she was good. Her. You know, the way we look at maybe RTD1, well, it wasn't everyone's cup of tea. People who didn't like it, but, you know, the way I would look at, the golden era for me. And then you come back and then you basically ruin your reputation. You know, that strikes weird. Why would you want to be known for something shit? Why would you want to have that sort of negative traction? Why would you want to bring that on yourself? Don't get it.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Pure narcissism. Pure narcissism.
So what you believe in as well. Like, I
know
things as well. We all believe in things. I wouldn't go into anything and start putting unless I had a genuine reason that it would serve the story. I wouldn't go in anywhere and sort of like, I'm going to throw this in it because this is my belief and I need to feel like it's being represented. No, I'm there to tell a story. It's a pretty job, do it.
Yeah. As we were saying, though, I mean, this is not finite. What they were doing is not finite. It'll only last about 5-10 years and it will fall apart.
Yeah.
I don't see the point either. It's just ridiculous. You got to think long term. They think like 2 minutes down the road. Oh, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. Unbelievable it is. But look, they've been doing it for years. They still haven't learned their lessons. They still attack fans, the media. Yeah, while Charlotte has said, you know, it's not, if you look at it the way it was even 5 years ago, it was a lot worse. Now you're actually seeing some reviewers, some media outlets now are starting to get a little bit disgruntled. But the
majority closing down as well.
Still on board, and unless the rest of them start, but I reckon we will see the tide turn with the media, especially what's been going on in the world the last few weeks, especially the last week. So I think people are starting to wake up now everywhere, and see. So these writers, look at Disney is soon going to find out because they're going to have another flop of their hands soon.
Their parks are failing now. They're failing their parks, especially when they got rid of Splash Mountain and turned it into that Tiana's Bayou adventure.
Which breaks down every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes. Investors are walking away, and so are customers and guests. They've done it.
And they've just got hacked. So it's just like Disney's just
1 trillion. 1 terabyte of information disappears.
Tell you what, that's going to be so interesting in the next couple of weeks. What information starts to get like drip fed, because that's what happens with these hacks. You get some big headlines and then you start to get other little things, and it's like, what's going to come through now? Because I think whoever did this has got certain things they wanted to get information about, and we're going to find out about those.
I think when Biden steps down, Bob Iger will step down shortly after as well. Just got this feeling that they're tied at the wrist, if you know what I mean.
none of this will last forever. All this sort of it's all really crap. I mean, it'll be hints and teasers of it before, and I mean, especially with. We're trying not to talk about Doctor Who too much. I get that, but it's like if you look at the sort of perceived wokeness of certain bits and where it all stemmed from, there's elements of it even as far as the era, really. If certain elements, if you really want to make a stretch of it. So it's been around for a little while, but it sort of really exploded in it around 2016 when you start seeing people like Shapiro really come on the scene. I mean, Milo Yiannopoulos, anyone remember him? And that's only like what 7-8 years ago.
Yeah,
that's in terms of the whole world. Life
2 years earlier.
Time.
Yeah,
and I just think I think Disparu might have made this point.
Yeah,
to sort of kind of point similar to this, but it's like in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, when the world ultimately changes again, which it will. And when there's a new social agenda, and when there's a whole brand new way of looking at the world, and when this old way is gone, they'll say they never believed it. They say, something we did at the time, I didn't know any better, and they'll sweep it under the rug and pretend like that never happened.
My attitude is because we learn from history. Then study a bit of history, see what happened in 1940s Germany.
All this obsession. I mean, you think, wouldn't it, that in 15 years' time, 20 years' time, oh my God, as if all of Hollywood and all of the industry and everything and oh wow, they used to do this all the time. Oh yeah, this is how we used to operate. Or we used to obsess over picking random people instead of actually hiring people based on the job. Oh, look how many times a random company would change their picture on social media for a certain month one time. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, well, we used to do that. Attitudes will change as they always will, and they will do. And whatever the next thing is, whatever that is, again, that'll be the new thing, and this will be this is old news. Oh, we never really believed in that stuff. Not really. It's all about the
yeah, that's what it will be. It will be. Oh no, we didn't do that.
And it really ages.
This is all here.
This stuff will stand out like a sore thumb. A lot of the time, you can do things that are timeless. And then some stuff stands out. I mean, I can't imagine watching some stuff, especially in the height of it, 2020, 2019.
Oh, God, yeah.
I
mean, this should have died about 2019, 2020, but a certain virus and a certain lockdown made it last for an extra 2 years.
Because they got, when they were about to lose money, they basically got stuff frozen and got extensions, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of the circumstances, let's put it that way.
Money, yeah. They released stuff early and all that. All streaming. Yeah. I mean, this would have been dead 2 years ago. It wasn't for that incident. Oh, it's taken another incident to bring everyone's heads out of their proverbial bottoms.
Here's something I would just have to say here online, right? It's funny, and then I went and checked what it was all about. So Khloe Kardashian comes out as an autosexual. Then I went in to see an autosexual. So then I went in to see what the definition of it was. And the first line is so a Kardashian. Autosexuality means people are more attracted to themselves than to others.
Oh my God.
And may prefer to sex with a partner. So basically she's in love with herself, but come on, did we really fucking
just got a new name for it,
so that's a new one, guys, right? Autosexual means you're attracted to yourself.
Well, that's just asexualism.
Jesus Christ, man. This was
being a narcissist.
That's what I mean, but they are, but that's what those Kardashians are. They've had camera phones in their faces since the day they did all of that shit, and they literally think that they're better than everybody else. You just have to see their attitude stinks, man, and they've conned a lot of people as well with their diet pills and all of that. You should actually looking at yourself, they're like they've lived that's what I mean.
Yeah,
because they have to
live their life on social media. They live their life on camera. They don't even know what a normal family environment is. These people,
no,
they don't. This is normal to them. But imagine coming out as something that means that you fancy yourself. I mean, that's definitely a Kardashian right there. But how these people and how this family ever became what they did is a shame on all of us in society for allowing it to happen, giving nobody trailer trash like that to be billionaires. Like, we must be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was funny. Elon also in a bit of political news. Elon Musk says he's not going to ban any left-wing accounts on Twitter after the recent attempt on Donald J. Trump's life, as you all know. And lots were celebrating, but lots were very sad, and they were putting up posts. But Elon has said, look, if I'm going to allow the right basically to put up what they want, well, then I have to do the same for the left. So he has made it clear, unless the posts break the law, whether they're left or right, they stay up. And you know what? I'm not Elon Musk's biggest fan, but that's what the definition of free speech is. You can't censor one side and not do the same for the other. So you're better off just letting them say, if Atom breaks the laws, you said take it down. But I don't trust it anyway, because lots of stuff on that app is against the law, by the way. And remember, there's 13-year-olds on that, and you've got porn all over it, mate. So maybe you should fix that, and then you could talk about the other bullshit and we'll take you seriously. Because you've noticed their numbers are down, folks, yeah? We normally stream on X as well. But you know what he did over the weekend on the sly? I never told anybody about that. You had to have X Premium now. So I can't stream X anymore. So I have to pay for it now to stream on X. The cheek of that fucking dickhead. Like, cheek of him. Anyway, unless anybody else has anything to add, I'm going to call it there because, as I said, I got very busy. And I'm actually tired. I haven't, as you've noticed, I wasn't talking much. I was letting you do all the talking. I just need to sit and relax now. Just chill.
You need to wind down.
Well, I do. I've got one more video to edit, and then once that's done, I'm nearly done now. Another 5 minutes, I say, with that, and then I can chill for the rest of the night, and that's what I'm going to do. But before we do go, obviously, we do the shout. Oh, no, sorry. Anybody else want to add that before we do the shout-outs?
Not really. I think everything's been said.
Yeah. Everything's being covered. Obviously, join us again next week. Right, so I've put these episodes, they'll be going in each week playlist, right? So the first two are in the playlist, right? So they're there. I've put them on the top banner there now for featured. They're on the featured tab there. So, so they'll be going into that playlist each week. So I've called this the second. This is episode 2, right? So, So join us for next week for episode 3. There you go. Anyway, I will do all my shit now in a minute. I'll just let the guys get it done and over with first because I've got loads to mention. But anyway, we'll start off with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Well, yeah, I'm still working on that Space Babies review. Just getting around to it, really.
Yeah. Just admit it, right? Just admit it. You can't be arsed to do it because even you now realise that it's a pile of shite and you'll be wasting your time.
No.
I don't blame you, though, if that's how you feel, though. I just want to say, I'm not saying that's how you feel, but if that's how you feel, I get it. Do something that you actually want to do, man. That's what I'd say to you.
I definitely wouldn't be looking forward to a Rogue review or the final, the certain episodes that I will enjoy doing more than others. But then
why don't you do the ones that you enjoy doing? Fuck the ones that you hate. Nobody is going to, nobody will care.
I did say it in there that when I started it wouldn't just be Doctor Who. I'd actually do other stuff. And there's been people in my comments who actually said, like, I don't really like the current season, so I look forward to all the rest of your videos. So there's this demand for content of other stuff. I could do anything. I was even thinking of doing a walkthrough of just maybe certain games, but so maybe I don't know.
Do it. That's what Chris Craic used to do at the start. He used to review DVDs on his fucking channel, and loads of people tuned in. They love that shit. Do it.
It's been a while since since obviously the show was on, so I spent a lot of time obviously on that, talking about that, and then going on panels talking about it. So I haven't actually really sat down and uploaded much recently. But it's like when I did do it, once I put a video up, I feel like I get the sudden buzz. I could upload one video and I want to do another one straight away. I get really into it, so it's a bit like what do you call it? Like when you put something off for ages and ages and ages, and then when you finally do it, you're like, oh wow, that was actually all right, and then you're going to do it more and more. So like I'm kind of being lazy now because I haven't done it for a while. But anyway, yeah, I suppose keep on the lookout for that. Maybe I'll try and get something done. What day is it? Wednesday? Maybe I'll try and get something done for Saturday then. How about that? So keep a lookout for Saturday. Whatever it is, I don't know, but something. And whatever it is, if you're interested in that, whatever it is, I don't even know myself. But then check out Cinnamon Toast Crunch on YouTube and on X.
Fantastic. I will get to Queen Charlie. Now, PD is putting in all the channels in the chat. So I'm not going to get him to list them all off, but if there is a personal channel that he wants to just plug, he's going to do that. But the rest are going in the chat right now because we'll be here all night if we start listing off all the channels. So we'll head you over to Queen Charlotte now, who's going to do her show.
Yep, so Type 40 Live tomorrow night. We've got our Thursday show. And apparently some numbers have been released for Disney Plus viewing to do Doctor Who. So we're going to be covering that because Dan was very clear he was not going to start to cover that until we got definite figures, not just, this chart, we think it says this. So we've had some sort of update and then sort of our general sort of what's current, what's the news, what sort of Doctor Who's probably a bit more to do with Comic-Con. I won't be surprised now. We know they're going to have a presence and we know there's going to be a panel. So we'll probably do a bit more Comic-Con news and the usual nostalgia with the diary and everything. Keep an eye out on some of the podcasts because Dan is going to keep doing the episode reviews and I'm going to be on the episode reviews of him. And he's planning one for Doctor Who Podcast Day. So keep your eye out for that because that's a thing he's sort of very involved with and organising. And then on Monday, actually, he did a live stream where he talked about some of the rumours, including a possible, because of the Disney leak, actually, we've been given a possible release date for season 2. So catch me on Thursdays and on podcasts that are coming out soon with Type 40, and you catch me here on Wednesdays.
Fantastic. And PD.
You'll catch me in the chat of Rabbis. You'll catch me tomorrow, and you'll catch me on Tuesday because I'm busy over the weekend operating a Fringe show.
Fantastic. And Lee was in touch with me, problem being he wants us all to get together for a big stream. So I will organise that, let everybody know, give you a bit of time, see if you can turn up. He wants to do an all straight where we all just get together and just have a bit of a chat. So I said that we'll do that. Also, obviously, I'll be back here now. Well, I want to do one of my little chit chats. So I will do that. I'll try to do that. I said I'm taking a break over the weekend, but it'll just be an hour, right? But I'll try to do that over the weekend. The movie zone is on hold for the time being because Chris does be with us in the chat for them, and his dad just recently passed away. So again, prayers to Chris and his family there. So I'm not bringing it back until Chris comes back because there does be only 2 of us on the panel and Chris in the chat. So there'll be no point. So I only want to do it when Chris is here. So we're going to leave it until Chris comes back. So I'll have another stream on this channel. It'll just be me coming on, having a bit of a natter, which is as we did, because some people like those little chats. We have nostalgia chats and we talk about childhood and all of that. And people seem to like the last one. So we'll do that. Also, I'm on the Irish Zone, which is hurtling towards 7,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd see the day that I'll have a channel that will do that well, but there you go. And the other channel has already got 500. Someone's sound is on.
Get reverb.
Right,
yeah. A bit scratchy, your mic and all.
Yeah, but anyway, the other channel is heading towards 500 subscribers where the public come on and give their views on everything that's been going on. So the other channels are doing well, and I just want to thank everybody that supported me. Daniel's been in there actually watching the streams. I've had him over. I've had him more on the other channel than I've had him in the chat in here because he's so disillusioned with Doctor Who and stuff. And
Don't blame
you
him.
know, but he's been joining me for me little political chats and being in the chats. Been nice to see him and a few others as well. So I want to thank you guys because some of you have crossed over, and I love that. Thank you for the support. But we continue to keep everybody informed of what's going on in Ireland and all of that other stuff. So thanks for the support. I'll see you back here again over the weekend. To me panelists as usual, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
In the chat that took part, thank you. We will see us for the next one, folks. Have a good evening. Look after yourselves, and most importantly, you know, crazy world out there. Take bloody care, won't you? Take care.
Amen to
Because,
that.
you know, I'm telling you, I listen. I called that last year. I think you know what I'm talking about. I actually said there was only 2 ways they could stop him from getting into the White House. I never thought that that would happen. I'm being honest. I said it, but I didn't think they'd do it. I thought they'd get him through the courts, right, and that's how they'd stop him. But to actually do that and to come within a millimeter, I mean, I don't. As I told you, I regained my faith. To me, that was divine intervention right there.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't tell the people of America who they should vote for. I don't know what will, but that was crazy. I just want to say it on this channel because we don't do politics, but can I just say that was absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah, RIP, the guy lost his life.
Could you imagine the people back in the 50s when Kennedy was done, or the 60s when Kennedy was done? That's how close we got to that sort of moment and the brink of absolute
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But anyway, stay safe. Look after yourselves. Give your families a hug. And I'll see you for the next one.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.